Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we get ready for our 17th race of the season, the third season of the NCRA Duracell Cup Series. We are here today to go racing at the Kansas Speedway, a track which in the last couple of seasons has actually proved to be either, I don't know if it would necessarily be considered a bore fest, but it's kind of more of just a one groove racetrack. And typically, when you go to your mile-and-a-half speedways, you expect to see an inside and an outside line. But if we go back to season one, it really was, if I recall correctly, drivers were not able to get the inside line going at all. It was the outside line that was dominating, and eventually Mitchell Collins took the checkered flag then. And then last season, I believe it was Jordan Lopez who won here, and it was basically everybody was migrated to the inside, and nobody could make a move on Jordan Lopez. Lopez kind of pretty much, after he took the lead, he ran away with it. So hopefully here today we're going to be in for a more exciting Kansas race as we get set for 54 laps. On the front row, couple of drivers that are hopeful of trying to find victory lane, but for different reasons. Carson Gum lines up on the pole. Now, he's already found victory lane this season, winning the season opening Daytona 500, but he comes into this race 36th in the point standings. He has a total of 29 points behind 30th in the standings, that cut line in order for a win to count towards a playoff spot. So good starting track position here today. He had a decent outing last week, so we'll see if maybe he can build off of that after Dover. But obviously really needs a good run today to get back in the top 30 in points, and a win certainly could jump him 3, 4, maybe 5 spots in the points. Alongside him is Ryan Butcher. Now, Butcher had a good run of second place a couple of weeks ago at the Pensacola Road Course, but that's his best finish so far of the season. He is still looking for victory lane here today, and let's not forget that Ryan Butcher ended up winning, I want to say it was 2 races last year, and if I remember correctly, both of those wins came during the playoffs, so he is yet to race his way into the playoffs as far as I remember. I don't even think when he was racing back for Northeast Motorsports in Season 1, he had a win at the Pensacola Road Course, but I don't think he was high enough in the points to be able to get into a playoff position. So he is still chasing his first playoff appearance, and he's got good starting track position as well, starting on the outside of the front row. Let's go down trackside and let's get those most famous words in motorsports and get racing here at Kansas.
Drivers, start your engines!
So as the field rolls off, check down the description below for your starting lineup for today's race. Your point standings coming into this race, they've closed up a little bit. Benny Watson is still the points leader, but there's a new second place driver, and that is our Darlington winner, Jack Mitchell. He is 9 points back. Cody Llamas, our winner from, what was the dirt track? Fuel Motorsports Park. He is 17 points back in third. Fourth place now is Zach Rogers. He has suddenly gotten back to his old form at the beginning of the season. He's up to fourth, and William Brock has been the driver that's really been free-falling the last couple of weeks. He is now fifth, 34 points behind the points leader, Watson. Rest of your top 10, the points coming to this race: Levi McIntire, our winner from Charlotte; Jose Mills, our winner from Pensacola; Dylan Young, 2-time winner in 8th; Patrick Smith, the rookie points leader, in 9th; and Cole Deaver in 10th. Both those drivers making up row 2, the 77 and the 08, and more importantly, both of them come into this race separated by only 2 points in the rookie point standing, Smith over Deaver. So that should be an interesting battle to watch during the course of this race. Green flag gonna get set to come out here. Can't say we're not in Kansas anymore, because we are at Kansas, and we're rolling as the green flag is out. Last week, Nathan Ormond was able to work his way back into the top 30 in the standings. So right now, the 3 drivers outside the top 30 in points with wins are Charles Sandfer, he's 33rd in points; Jacob Thibodeaux, 34th; and Carson Gum, 36th. And Carson Gum is going to get a very valuable bonus point leading the first lap. Levi McIntire now moves by Smith for second as they are 3 wide, a couple of rows deep back there. But this looks more like the kind of speedway racing we like to see, as opposed to what Kansas brought to the table in the past 2 seasons. LaPlante going to move into third place. LaPlante Had a good run last week at Dover. Ran up towards the front for a good majority of it. And as a result, jumped up 7 spots in the standings. He's now 16th in the points coming into this race as we've got a battle for the lead between Levi McIntire and Carson Gum. And we also have a caution. Our first yellow flag of the day is out. And with them racing 3 wide, several rows deep, you kind of had a feeling someone might make a mistake. Gum's going to hold off McIntire here, so he'll continue to lead under caution. And we had an incident on the front straightaway going into turn 1. And there were multiple cars involved. You can tell by the skid mark trails going up into the wall in the center of turns 1 and 2. And Cody Llamas, our Fuel Motorsports Park winner, is involved. Actually, several of our former winners. Jose Mills is involved. Dylan Young involved as well. And all 3 of those drivers have found victory lane this season. Cole Deaver, who started from the 4th position, involved in this one. And there's more at the rear of the field. Phil Parker, a lot of left side damage on his Old Spice Mustang. Ryan Acosta looks like he's got right side damage. So the both of them got pieces of this incident. Belding in the 91 is coming to pit road. Don't know if maybe he got a piece of the wreck. Left side looks clean. Can't see the right side from this camera angle. Oh, there you go. Yep, he's got a lot of damage on the right side. Looks like he brushed the wall. So he's been collected. And Ryan Butcher in the 78 is also on the pit lane. Just completing up service. He started the race from the outside of the front row. And if he had any damage, they beat the metal out pretty well because that car looks brand new. Now, from what I saw, it looks like everybody that was involved should be able to continue with the possible exception of Cody Llamas, depending if they can beat the hood down on that car. But we do have our first yellow flag of the day here at Kansas. Let's go back and see what happened. And here it was. They'd been 3 wide for the first few laps, but they had never attempted 4 wide, and that's what's going to happen right here. Collins had a good run on Deaver. He decides to try and go to the inside. Turner below him. Gardner down on the very inside. He had a couple of cars actually down on the apron, which is legal here. And then I think what happens is Deaver just runs out of room. He's actually up there riding the safer barrier right now. It juts out. He comes down into Belding. And Belding's going to go up and brush the wall pretty good. And then as the track is blocked up, I think Phil Parker's the first car that's going to get hit. Oh, no, maybe not. They may have actually wrecked further up with Acosta trying to come back up the track. No, it was Phil Parker hooking Keith Batson. And he turns the 39 down into Acosta. There's where Llamas gets involved. Dylan Young and Jose Mills has nowhere to go. And what a great avoidance by James Qualls. He was back behind that, and by all rights and purposes, probably should have gotten a piece of it, and he didn't. It's like the 98, he was on pit road, but I didn't really see him get a lot of contact out of that either. So maybe they were just checking to make sure he was okay. Oh, and Cole Deaver, the problem for him is that he would have probably been able to drive away from the incident, but you can see right there, his car is stuck on the transition between the apron and the banking of turn 1. And so he had to teleport back to pit road, and as a result, he's going to lose at least 2 laps probably under this caution. And that's a tough break for Deaver, who is very much so closing up the gap between himself and Patrick Smith for the rookie points lead coming into today's race at Kansas. Green flag will come back out on lap 8 of 54. Carson Gum the leader over Levi McIntire, Patrick Smith, Vince Almariego, Austin LaPlante. That's your top 5. Then it's Norman, Mitchell, Mathews, Brommer, and Hudson. That's going to complete your top 10. We do have lap machines on the inside line to contend with here. Dylan Young, Jose Mills, and Cole Deaver. Young and Mills are 1 lap down apiece. Deaver is 2 laps down, and we do have 1 car out of the race, that being the 84 of Cody Llamas, who came in 3rd in the points. The good news for him is he has that Fuel Motorsports Park win. to try and get into the playoffs, but certainly would have loved to have at least finished out today's race at Kansas, I'm sure. Top 6, top 7 have gotten around the slower traffic. Kyle Mathews, Ryan Brommer kind of boxed in right now. Mathews now will get to the inside of Dylan Young. And this kind of worries me with them getting wadded up back here, because it makes me wonder if someone could attempt trying to go 4 wide again. There's Collins, who won at Kansas back in Season 1. Keep your eyes on him. He's going to get around the outside of his Young Motorsports teammate. There's Zach Rogers up there. Rogers has got some damage right there. If you can notice, a buckle on the hood of that bright green Dodge Challenger. I don't know if he ran to the back of somebody under caution or if he ran to the back of somebody on this restart, but that could affect him as points leader Benny Watson splits the gap between Mills and Dylan Young. He'll get through the traffic. Patrick Smith has moved up to second, but we're watching back here because this seems to me a good place for another caution to take place. 3 by 3 by 3. Looks like they're trying to get the lap traffic put up to the outside line, which they've succeeded in doing so. Deaver, Mills, and Young are now up on the top side, but so too are Matthew Rodriguez and William Brock. They are losing spots hand over fist as a result, but I think that everybody's going to get through okay. So we can actually go back up to the front of the field here. Carson Gum continues to lead. Patrick Smith currently in second. Norman has moved to third. Fourth place, Mitchell, and that's a good battle there between himself, Almariego, and McIntyre. Fourth, fifth, and sixth. And then Austin LaPlante trying to close in. Got only 7 cars up in this lead pack because they were the ones that really got around the slower lap machines the quickest. Nathan Hudson right now runs in 8th. Jordan Lopez there in 9th, and Ryan Brommer currently in 10th. You've got about 4 cars there from 9th back to 12th that are in their kind of own little battle. Let's find out where last week's winner is at. Marcus Saatchi. There he is, picking up his 2nd career Duracell Cup Series victory, but first of the season, and potentially putting himself into the playoffs for the first time. After his win last week, he jumped from 26th to 19th in points coming into this one, and right now he is in the 21st position. Boy, Carson Gum has had quite a number of contenders behind him in second place. Now it's Michael Norman, but nobody's really been able to make the move on him for the race lead. We know they can make moves for position because they've been able to pass for second, so you know, it's not one of those things of last year at Kansas where nobody was able to pass. Almariego there in the 3rd position, and I know I keep beating this dead horse, but I'm going to keep saying it because we've had 2 drivers this season go to victory lane getting their first career wins that had started out back in Season 1, Race 1. Jack Mitchell at Darlington and Charles Sandford at ISM, and Almariego is another of those drivers that has run every single Duracell Cup Series race, but is yet to find victory lane. He and Adam Garcia are the last 2. Could today be the day for the 42 car? Carson Gum already led the first lap of this race after starting on the pole, but right now, with him staying out in front, he would get another valuable bonus point for leading the most laps. And of course, right now, with where he is in the points, every point matters. And that's a teammate behind him as well in Almariego. So you got to wonder if Almariego is saying, you know, remember the fact I'm not making a move on you here, teammate. I'm letting you have the opportunity at that most laps led bonus point. But if it comes down between you and me towards the end of this race, remember, you just basically need points to get yourself back in the top 30 in standings. I need a win. Lap traffic they're going to catch here. And boy, they caught him quickly. And oh my goodness, Carson Gum just wrecked the 08. They saved it. And no caution, but Carson's got damage now. A lot of damage on the hood, and we nearly had a wreck. And we've got our first lead change of the day under most unusual circumstances. Levi McIntire now goes to the top of the board. And why I would worry about that for Carson Gum, I don't think that necessarily is going to have him off the pace. He drops back to 6th. But when these drivers eventually, more than likely, would make green flag pit stops, they're going to have to spend a little extra time repairing that 19 car. He's got damage on the hood as well as the right side of his Chevrolet now. McIntyre went to victory lane in the longest race of the season, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Out in front now, looking for what would be his first multi-time win season and 3rd win of his Duracell Cup Series career. You got Jack Mitchell behind him. He's also looking for a multi-win season and 2nd win of his Duracell Cup Series career. And then you got Patrick Smith back there. He's looking for his first win of his career, period. He's seen other rookies like Hudson and Thibodeaux and Ormond all go to victory lane. He wants to do it here today. And then there's LaPlante back there in the 48 car. LaPlante, I believe he is looking for his third career win, I think it is. It might be only his 2nd, but I want to say it's his 3rd career win. But of course it'd be his first of the season. And then L Mariego there, making it 3 wide, looking for his first career win overall. And Michael Norman right there in the 18 car as well. Norman comes into this race 21st in points. He struggled at Dover last week, dropped 5 spots. And trying to bounce back with that one here today. Right now, he is the only one of the Michael Norman Motorsports cars that's even really in the hunt for this win. Cody Lamas is already out of the race, and I have not seen Kolano anywhere up here near the top 10. Battle here for the 8th position. Nathan Hudson and Mitchell Collins. This is going on about 3.5 seconds behind the lead pack as Hudson will take the spot. Remember, Nathan Hudson has a speedway win this season. Kansas is 1.5 miles. Michigan is 2 miles in length, but nonetheless, Hudson showing that he's got a good car when it comes to these speedways. And then you got this battle for 10th going on. Jordan Lopez trying to hold off Carter Friesen, Matt Haas, Aaron Macklin, J Gardner, Jessica Shelton's in this mix. Shelton had a heartbreak last week at Dover. It was looking like she was going to finish in the top 3, but she ran out of fuel, or at least was close on fuel, and they came to pit road to be safe in the closing stages on that last caution. A lot of other drivers ran out of fuel on the last lap, but a number of them were able to at least make it back to the start-finish line, or at least had the standings become official before they got to the start-finish line, so they technically kept their spots, which I still have a little bit of an issue with. But Shelton came to pit road under that caution and lost all of the track position and did not come away with a top 5. And as a result of that as well, Shelton dropped a spot in the standings from 34th to 35th. I mean, that's a driver that's been struggling to get back in the top 30 in the standings. There's Kolano, the other one of the Michael Norman Motorsports cars out there on the track. Right now he is in 17th place. Drop back a little bit further, and a guy that has kind of faded back is Benny Watson. Watson did a pretty good job getting through the traffic, which was Deaver, Mills, and Young, but he's now dropped back to the 26th position. He's lost a few spots since that, and that is not good for him because Mitchell, the guy who's running him down, trying to run him down for the overall points lead, is up in 3rd. So, at this point in time, Jack Mitchell would be your points leader according to the live standings. And the battle for the lead is on here between McIntyre, Norman, and Mitchell. All nose to tail, Ford, Toyota, Chevy, and Norman's going to look for the race lead. And the tough thing about this race, too, you saw just before we jumped up here to these race leaders, Deaver, Mills, and Young are all laps down off the pace. And see this, they're all running together as Michael Norman almost ran over the 98. And it's going to be Jack Mitchell on the bottom. And then Levi McIntyre gets spun off the nose of L Mariego in what was a battle for around the 3rd position. And that car stuck on track. He gets hit by Carter Friesen. Friesen up into T Wright. Cole Baker may have gotten a piece as well. Are we still green? You've got to be kidding me. There's no way we should still be under green. Are the officials blind? We are still green. Collins is on pit road in the 22 as well. This may be regularly scheduled stops for these guys. Jordan Lopez is in as well. Friesen's definitely in. And now these guys are coming into pit road really, really slow. Why are they coming really slow? Butcher, Parker, and Acosta. We are still green. And I don't understand how. How are we still green? I know for an absolute fact cautions are turned on. We should be under caution at this point, and we're not. Battle for the lead is on again between Norman and Mitchell. And if I sound disgusted, it's just in the fact that the officials aren't throwing a yellow for that. That is ridiculous. You had a car stop down on the apron, for heaven's sakes. Oncoming traffic. And then you had Friesen get a piece of that. There should have been a yellow flag flown. Norman's going to give up what was technically the lead to come to pit lane here. Patrick Smith, LaPlante, Vince Almariego, they're in as well. Carson Gum also in the 19 has come to pit road, and he's got a whole trail of cars behind him. Macklin, Kolano, last week's winner Saatchi, Baker, Matthew Rodriguez. I saw K Mathews as well. And now we'll see if Mitchell's going to hit pit lane from the lead, and he will. Shelton stayed out an extra lap, and she is going to stay out even longer, along with J Gardner. A couple of others coming to pit road. T Wright, R Brommer, J Sandfer, J Belding. So Shelton's able to stretch it a little bit further here. We'll see if staying out that extra lap gains her some track position. J Gardner in the 14 also stayed out. Playing a little bit of fuel strategy here. And remember with those two, back in Season 1 at ISM, that were kind of in a fuel strategy game. Gardner was on the losing end of that. Shelton picking up the victory in that race. So we'll see if this gains Shelton any track position with staying out an extra lap. She'll definitely be coming down a less congested pit road than everybody else. Pulls into the attention of her crew, and she's going to have the 28 of T Wright in front of her. T Wright got a piece of that incident when Levi McIntyre spun and got clipped by Carter Friesen. He has now left his pit stall, so that gives Shelton a easier exit. And now we'll see where she comes out in relation to Mitchell and Norman, who are back at it again, battling for the lead. Norman ducks it down to the inside. Boy, that was an aggressive move, and that may cost him because K Deaver is there. That slows up his momentum, and Mitchell's going to get away. And he's going to open up a pretty good lead now, too, because of that. Michael Norman wasn't even able to get around Deaver until after they'd exited out of turn 2. They were on each other about 8/100 separation, and now at the line, the interval is about 7.5 tenths. As Mitchell takes the lead, we now can do a rundown here, at least of our top 10. Mitchell the leader, Norman in second, LaPlante in third, fourth is Patrick Smith, Vince Almariego in fifth. Kolano is now up to sixth, so all of a sudden he jumped up here. Seventh place, just exchanged hands. Jordan Lopez took it away. Seventh place now under contest. Or no, I'm sorry, hold on. Let me wait till they cross the line here. This is actually 8th place under contest. Macklin's going to take the spot, move Hudson back to 9th, and right now Matt Haas runs in 10th. Benny Watson's 11th. 12th is Matthew Rodriguez. 13th, Jacob Thibodeaux. 14th, Marcus Saatchi. Mitchell Collins, 15th. 16th is Jessica Shelton. 17th is her teammate Charles Sandfer. 18th, Keith Batson. 19th, Ryan Brommer. And right now, completing your top 20 is K Mathews. 21st, J Gardner. 22nd is Adam Garcia. 23rd, Jesse Turner. 24th, William Brock. 25th, Nathan Ormond. 26th is Charles Belding. 27th, James Qualls. 28th, Zach Rogers. 29th, Cole Baker. 30th would be Phil Parker. 31st is Ryan Acosta. Carson Gum, you can see they spent a lot of time on pit road. He's now back in 32nd, still with some damage too. 33rd is Ryan Butcher. 34th place, I believe, is T Wright. He is the last car on the lead lap. And wait a minute, something happened to Mitchell. Mitchell just dropped from the lead all the way back to 5th because LaPlante just took the lead. But T Wright is the last car in the lead lap, currently in 34th place. And then you got the lap machines of Mills, Young, Deaver, and right now Levi McIntyre is still running, but he is now 5 laps down in 38th, and Carter Friesen is out of the race. He was the one that hit McIntyre. He joins Cody Llamas in the garage area. Friesen came into this race 11th in the point standings, our winner this season at Atlanta. LaPlante gets around T Wright, puts him a lap down, now has to deal with T Wright's teammate Jose Mills, gets wadded up there, got held up through 4. Norman along with Almariego and Smith trying to capitalize. We've only got 4 cars up here in this lead pack, and all 4 of them are looking for their first win on the season. In terms of where they are in the points, LaPlante comes into this race currently 16th in the standings. Michael Norman in 21st. Almariego right on that cut line of 30th. And Patrick Smith, the highest of all of them, 9th in the points coming to this one, trying to become the 4th rookie to take a checkered flag this season. As LaPlante hits the line, there's going to be 15 laps to go, and we're going to step aside for a quick commercial break and be right back for the finish here at Kansas Speedway. Welcome back to Kansas Speedway. Austin LaPlante out in front. He just completed the 41st lap, giving us a total of 14 laps to go here in this race. 13 laps to go. Right now, it looks like a 4-horse race up here at the front of the field. If we have a caution come out, then obviously we'd bring everybody back into play for the win. But right now, it's coming down between 4 drivers, that have not yet won this season. LaPlante out in front, Norman in 2nd, Patrick Smith in 3rd, and 4th place right now, Vince Almariego. And right now, it's a good run for Patrick Smith because last couple of weeks, he's not been horrible, but he hasn't had as good runs as Cole Deaver. And Deaver's been able to cut down what was about a 10-point gap down to 2 points coming into today's race between himself and Patrick Smith for the rookie points lead. With Cole Deaver having his early issues and currently trapped several laps down, Patrick Smith looks to be gaining some points going into next week. Right now, the battle seems to really be for that 2nd position as LaPlante's been able to keep them at bay. And we saw this happen earlier, too, when a couple of drivers would be out in front. Carson Gum early on was out in front, and nobody was really able to get around him. When he had the lead, Levi McIntire, after he got around Carson Gum, nobody was really able to challenge him. And now with LaPlante out in front, nobody's really been able to get around him. A couple of times, Michael has gotten up to his back bumper, but nobody's really been able to make a move. And that says to me more than likely it could be, as these guys go longer and longer on a run after making their pit stops, that maybe, just maybe, it's allowing them no option to get a run on the bottom as we've got them boxed up here. Cole Deaver and Levi McIntire holding these guys up, and the second pack was about 4 seconds back. They may catch up here because of this. You can see them back there, Kolano and Lopes trying to reel in this group of 4, and they're going to gain a lot of ground. They cut it down to almost 2.5 seconds now. Top 4 do get around McIntyre and Deaver. Now what about this group of Lopes and Kolano? Then you got the lap car of T Wright and then Matthew Rodriguez, who's right now in 8th. They're going to jump to the outside on Deaver, and which lane is Deaver going to take? He's actually going to go in the middle. That holds up Kolano. McIntyre goes low. That boxes in his teammate in the 38, and we almost had a wreck right there with Deaver almost into the right rear quarter panel of M Haas. And Kolano's going to lose a lot of spots because of this one. He was stuck on the high side. Now he's boxed in with Deaver to his inside. McIntyre in front of him, and everybody's wadded up again. And there's another slow car in Dylan Young that they're trying to make their way by. A big gainer in all of that was Matthew Rodriguez. He jumped from 7th, now up to 5th. Battle still on for 2nd place. Lap 48 for the 48 as now he catches Jose Mills. Going to make quick work of him. Holy cow, how did Patrick Smith not run into the back of the 98 car? Boy, he swung that high, wide, and handsome and made it work, but that was awfully close. And we've seen front-running drivers get involved with the slower machines. Carson Gum is one of them. He ended up getting quite a bit of contact when I think he hooked Cole Deaver. Levi McIntire ended up getting wrecked. That's why he's multiple laps down. There was no caution to allow him an opportunity to get back on the lead lap. And look at this. Battle brewing for the lead. Almariego chasing career win number 1. LaPlante stands between him and that. Let's see if he's going to be able to make a move on the 48. About a half car length back. We'll see if he can get a run. Now, these are CTS physics, so you'd think that these drivers should be able to get a pretty good run on the straightaways. The only question is, though, can they then be able to get to the left rear quarter panel to make a move? That's pretty much what Almariego has to do. He has to get somewhat alongside, at least, of LaPlante before getting into the entry of the corner. And right now, I'm just not seeing the run necessary on the straightaways. Patrick Smith trying to close back in on these top two as well, as you've got a couple of Chevrolets and a couple of Toyotas. I think Michael Norman got held up a little too long behind Jose Mills, and he's actually lost the top 3. And then the best battle behind that is going on for this 5th position. Right now, Matthew Rodriguez has it. Got Nathan Hudson, Mitchell Collins, who won here 2 seasons ago there as well. Matt Haas, Jacob Thibodeaux, and points leader Benny Watson. As far as drivers that came into this race needing a good run to get back in the top 30 in points, of those 4 being Ormond, Sandfer, Gum, and Thibodeaux, the only one that's having a good run right now is Thibodeaux, who had a win this season at a 1.5 mile Speedway, Las Vegas. So maybe he's finally getting his Speedway mojo back as he's trying to get around Matt Haas for the 8th position. I think Jordan Lopez just passed Benny Watson for a spot inside the top 10. Top 3, you could throw a blanket over them. Last time by, 0.3 of a second separated them, and they're coming to the white flag. LaPlante trying to get his first win on the season. Almariego and Smith looking for the first wins of their career. Can LaPlante hold them off for 4 more corners? Northeast Motorsports has 2 wins this season already, both coming with the rookie drivers. Nathan Hudson at Michigan, Thibodeaux at Las Vegas. The veteran LaPlante wants to join that rookie platoon as a Northeast Motorsports winner and make his way back into the playoffs again. Out of turn 4, the battle looks like it's for second. LaPlante with a strong car after the green flag pit stops. He's going to take the checkered flag here today at Kansas Speedway. Austin LaPlante, who I'm pretty certain was a winner last year. I'm trying to remember where it was. I can't for the life of me think of where it was. I know his first career win came season 1 at New Hampshire, but I'm pretty certain he was a race winner last year, and I just can't think of where it was at. But if I'm correct in this, I believe this is his 3rd career win. It's his first here of season 3. And I believe that if he's able to make the playoffs with this victory, he would be 3 for 3 in his career and making it into the postseason. Almariego so close to getting his first career win, adding his name to the list of Charles Sandfer and Jack Mitchell, drivers who snapped their winless streak, but he'll have to wait another week. Patrick Smith will finish in 3rd. Let's look actually at the full finisher results here. Michael Norman will finish in 4th. He actually there was a battle almost brewing between him and Matthew Rodriguez for 4th there at the line, but Rodriguez will have to settle for a top 5 in 5th. Then it was Nathan Hudson, Mitchell Collins, Matt Haas, Jacob Thibodeaux, and Jordan Lopez. Interesting, our 2 former winners here at Kansas finishing in the top 10, Collins 7th and Lopez in 10th place. Well, Benny Watson didn't get a top 10, but he did finish ahead of all those other drivers that were trying to run him down for the points lead coming today, and he finishes in 11th, so he will have a sizable gap heading into next week. Kolano will finish in 12th, Mathews in 13th. We really didn't talk about Kyle Mathews today. Solid outing for him. Marcus Saatchi, rather, after his win last week, is going to bring it home 14th. Jessica Shelton in 15th. Jack Mitchell, 2nd in points, finished in 16th. So I believe the gap between Watson and Mitchell heading into next week, if my calculations are correct, can be 14 points. Adam Garcia, Jesse Turner, William Brock, and Charles Belding completed your top 20. And then if you look on down here through the remainder of the finishing results, we ended up having only one caution. That one caution took out K Llamas. The Carter Friesen machine was out after an incident that should have brought out a caution and didn't. And then other drivers like Levi McIntire, T Wright, they got caught up in that incident that didn't bring out the caution. That's why they finished at least one lap down. McIntyre was 6 laps down. Dylan Young, Jose Mills, and C Deaver, they were all caught up in the incident that took K Llamas out in the early stages of this race. Only one caution today, should have honestly been 2, but it is what it is. So Austin LaPlante will take the checkered flag here today. First win of the season for him. Congratulations to the 48 team. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race here from Kansas Speedway. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We have shown you full finishing results, and these are what your point standings look like heading into next week. This was our 17th race, which means we've only got 9 more races left until the regular season is over, and we know the 16 playoff drivers. So it is getting ever closer to the playoffs. The chase towards the chase for the championship is slowly winding down. Hope you guys enjoyed this race, and we will see you guys next week. Till then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, Offline Racing at its best.